Time changes everything. What was a barren land a few years ago is now a multi-storied institution in which this TED Talk is happening. That was me 15 years ago. This is me now. That's what time does to you. And similarly, with time, the meanings of words changes. The Vedas mention panis and dasas as cattle lifters. And with time, das now means slave. Today, we look at the evolution of one such word, unfiltered. The only catch is, this word does not change its meaning in decades or years or months. It changes its meaning every second of the day, depending on what you're doing. I describe unfiltered, that is the opposite of the word filter, as layers between what was and what is. Allow me to use a very simple example. This is bhindi, okra, ladyfinger. I don't like bhindi. So I had a very tiring day at school, and I went home and I asked my mom, what's for lunch? And she goes, we have bhindi. Now what was an original thought of bhindi went through layers of, is bhindi worth fighting with my mom? I have to go to Foresta at 9. How will I get the permission if I fight over bhindi? If I don't eat bhindi, it will be wasted. Etc., etc., etc. And so many layers. And what was I don't like bhindi turns out to be a thank you. I'm not saying this is a problem. I'm saying filtration is so imbibed in us that with the person who literally gave birth to us, we can't be completely honest. We look at the evolution of the word filtered through three things: thinking, feeling, and speaking. Let's begin with thinking unfiltered. Now I need everybody to help me with one thing. Can all of you shout your own name in 3, 2, 1? Okay. Now can everybody ask the name of the person sitting on their right or left? Now can everybody shout the name of their friend? Why is it that when you shout your own name, this is your voice? But when you shout the name of your friend, this is your voice. It is so imbibed in us to think, even in such a small thing. Will other people shout their name? What will they think if I shout my name so loud? Why is he making us do this? Etc., etc., etc. That is how imbibed filtration is in us. So when you're thinking unfiltered, I want you to remove preconceived notions of the most common things. And the most common thing, at least for me, is procrastination. An average human being, this is a case study by Warwick, by the way. An average human being procrastinates for 218 minutes a day. All math wizards, that's approximately 15% of your entire day. 15% of your entire day is a pretty long time. But we have notions, we have preconceived notions that procrastination is bad. I'll explain the cycle of an average 16-year-old or a 17-year-old. You start working. I have an essay due in 5 days, I will start writing. I write the first sentence, and in 5 minutes I realize I have to listen to the song, clean my room, say hi to my mom, text that person, write this email, watch that Netflix documentary, etc., etc., etc. And well, then I procrastinate. Then I start working again because I have to work. I have to get that essay in time. I can't do everything on the deadline. I write 5 more words. And well then, we're procrastinating again. And then I start working and then I'm procrastinating, work, procrastinate. And this Tom and Jerry cat and mouse chase, what happens is, either you end up doing nothing, or you end up doing something that was not on your list. Why? Why do you have to snap in the middle of procrastination? Because we've been taught that procrastination is bad. If you procrastinate, you're a bad person, you're a lazy person. Why? When an average human being has to procrastinate for 15% of your day, just get over with it. You start to work, You start to procrastinate, commit to the process, end procrastinating, and then start doing your work. Why does it have to be blocked at that layer of this is bad? You know what happens? I've actually tried it. You know what happens if you start procrastinating and you end procrastinating? You actually start something and you get that work done. And that's a real thing. 90% of people my age struggle with procrastination. Not because procrastination is not natural, but because we get stuck in the labyrinth of it is bad. If you don't believe me, this is a research by Dr. Itmar Shahs, a Cambridge researcher, and this is a research by philosopher John Perry. And millions of people have written about structured procrastination, where you arrange your tasks in such a manner that when you're procrastinating, you end up doing something from that list that you actually had to do, and you make time for the other work. But we get stuck, we get lost in translation of it is bad. We remove those notions, we remove those layers. Life will be a lot simpler. I'll tell you what happens with me. I have 5 days left, right? So first day, 5 sentences. Second day, Netflix documentary. Third day, why am I supposed to work? I still have 2 days left. Fourth day, I will end up procrastinating again and cleaning my room for a change. Fifth day, I start crying because now I have 2 hours left and I have a 2,000-word essay to submit and I don't know what to write. Yeah, has happened with you, right? This is where feeling unfiltered comes in. Be true to yourself. I'll tell you what happens. When you start crying and somebody else sees you crying, the first, second, or at max the third reaction is stop crying. रोने से कुछ नहीं होता. मत रो. There's no use crying over spilt milk. Why? Just commit to the process. If you've started crying, end crying. We've believed that crying is bad. Let's look at it mathematically. If you're crying equals to you're sad. So if you're not crying equals to you're not sad. Just commit to the process. And by the way, I am not making this up. Confucius, a very famous Chinese philosopher, that is his student, Jiao, who said, mourning should fully express grief and then stop at that. Not before, not after. How many times has it happened that you were sad about something in the middle of the day, but you cry at 3 a.m. in the night when nobody is watching? If you have, please raise your hand up. So it's us and a bunch of liars. Perfect. Everybody does that. Let's say you have 100 tears to shed. You shed 70 tears. Somebody comes, asks you to stop crying. Those 30 tears that are still left, they will make their way back to you. And you will have to finish that quota. You can't run away from it. So, why do you have to pass it through layers of this is bad? Why do you have to pass it through layers of I cannot cry? Just cry. It's not that hard. And your eyes are much clearer after that. Some people also receive a very nice post-crying glow. I'm very jealous of those people. But you should try it. And this brings me to the third thing. That is speaking unfiltered. How many times has it happened that you see somebody who's wearing something really, really nice and you want to tell them that, hi, you're looking amazingly well, but what if they think I'm a creep? Is this cringe? Should I even do it? Do they even know me? Has it happened? Yeah? This is a case study by Harvard Business Review. And it explicitly states that complimenting other people gives you a boost in your life as well. But you won't do it. You're going to tell me it's fine. What if I don't compliment other people? That's not that big of a problem. It isn't. But what happens is when you start filtering in such small things, in small things like bhindi, and you're looking amazingly well, it becomes a habit. When it becomes a habit, in your classroom, out of 40 people, when those 8 people are speaking, that's what, 20% of the class? The rest, 80% of the class, is sitting there, not doing anything, just blank, zoned out. Some of them have questions. They won't speak those questions. What if this question is stupid? What will my teacher think? What will my friends think? Do I really have to ask this question? I have YouTube University back at home. If you were there, and if you have a doubt, speak up. Classrooms and academic settings, professional settings, a lot of us struggle with creating a space for ourselves, creating an identity for ourselves. And that happens only when you speak up. So pretty simple, right? Think unfiltered, feel unfiltered, speak unfiltered. But then Arv, what is the difference between you and a human, between you and an animal? Because a lion who's hungry thinks he's hungry, feels he's hungry, roars, runs, kills a deer, and is happy. And you have thoughts, I will kill this person. What if you actually end up doing that? That is where rationality comes in. And if you don't believe me, come on, I need everybody's attention. Can everybody raise your right arm up? See, it's so simple when you think unfiltered. Now can everybody, wherever you are, do a handstand? What, no? Okay. Can everybody, wherever you are, play football? Nobody standing up? Okay. Can everybody, wherever you are standing up, can you dance? That is rationality. Because when you have to raise your right arm up, you go, okay, that's fine. Not that big of a deal. When I ask you to do handstand, you go, this man is stupid. That is where rationality comes in, and it stops you from being an animal. Second thing is, rationality comes with a very good brother of its called time. Time and experience teach you things which, instead of making you say, I hate bhindi mummy, will make you say, I will eat the bhindi today, but tomorrow can we try something else? I'm not saying by thinking, feeling, and speaking unfiltered, you'll have a Lamborghini at your house. All I'm saying is, life will be a lot simpler because you won't get stuck in the labyrinth of your own self, so that you can deal with the labyrinth of life. And I'll conclude with a quote. This is a quote by Mizaj Lakhnavi, a very famous romantic poet. And the quote is, खुद दिल में रख के आँख से पर्दा करे कोई, हाँ लुत्फ जब पाके भी ढूंढा करे कोई. Lutf is happiness. खुद दिल में रख के आँख से पर्दा करे कोई, हाँ लुत्फ जब पाके भी ढूंढा करे कोई. If you are stuck in the labyrinth of your own self, you will look for things that you already have. And well, life is much better when you smile and not cry. So, have a good day. Thank you, everybody. Just get over with it.